In this video, we're going to discuss why Cypriot citizenship is so appealing to foreign investors and why they choose Cyprus for their residence and do arrange their plans accordingly to have as a final step Cypriot passport. Our task as your lawyers is to make the process as swift and smooth as possible for you and your loved ones. We're going to discuss what important factors you need to consider, what steps you need to take, and what information you need to understand prior to establishing your plan to get your Cypriot passport. If you were ever interested in getting a second citizenship or maybe already have considered getting a Cyprus passport, then this video is for you. In this video, we're going to discuss all the major aspects you need to know to prepare accordingly. Maybe as the majority of you know, Cyprus have been the center of attention thanks to Al Jazeera and their news regarding the Cyprus golden passports and all the criminals who got documents in Cyprus. But trust me, it's not that bad. We had lots of legal investors who invested in the local economy and got on their passports, them and their loved ones. But Cyprus passport is an old story. It is no more, and now the only option to obtain a Cypriot passport is through the procedure of naturalization, either by living here for more than 7 years or with an exempt procedure for 4 to 5 years here. We will discuss this later. In 2023, the government has slightly amended the legislation. So to give you an example, residents who got their PR previously had a chance to apply for Cypriot passport after 5 years of residency. But unfortunately, in 2023, the government said no more. And therefore, now we have two legal ways. As mentioned, it's either the 8-year rule or the 4 or 5-year rule with your work visa. From the main requirement which was added now is you need to know the Greek language. So you need to have either the basic understanding for the level of A1 or a good understanding of Greek language for the level of B2. In case if learning language is challenging for you, there is a small hint. If one of you, your wife or your husband, gets the Cypriot passport, the other half can apply after 3 years of marriage without the requirement of Greek language. So there is a small way to avoid learning the language if it's challenging for you. We're going to discuss in more depth the application procedure later on, but briefly what we need you to do, we need you to be a Cyprus resident to collect your days in Cyprus, learn the language, learn some history, apply, go through the interview, showing that you have been localized, you are a part of the community, and then get your passport. What is interesting, even though Cyprus has gone through so many amendments, had some bad backstory with the golden passports, we are still a very, very attractive destination for foreign investors and their families for getting their local passports, Cypriot citizenship for them, their loved ones, and establishing their life in Cyprus. So what does make Cyprus so appealing to foreign investors and expats? Except the Cyprus passport, the tax residency, and a very, very sunny weather. So as discussed previously in one of our videos, Cyprus has a very well-established English-speaking community. You will not have troubles speaking English at your school, at your bakery, with your lawyer, accountant, etc. So it makes it a lot more convenient for you to relocate here because you will not have issues with the language. Second, I would say even first most attractive point is the tax system. Taxation in Cyprus in comparison to the Europe and even the rest of the world, I would say, is really, really attractive. What we mean? We're talking about 12.5% corporate tax. Note here, government is talking about increasing it to 15, but let's be honest, the 2.5%, we can spare that for the government. Also, we have the established non-domicile system. If you relocate here, you can benefit from non-domicile regime and avoid paying extra defense tax, which we as locals unfortunately do pay. So it's going to make it nice and attractive for you. We had lots of people who relocated from the UK, from the States, some of them from Israel even here. So it's a really mixed country with lots of expats. It's a very friendly community. Cyprus, as the UK, has a really straightforward business registration system. So if you want to establish a business in Cyprus, we're going to make it as simple as possible for you. On average, we're talking about 2 to 3 weeks to having your company opened and you can start trading. We have previously discussed in our videos the prices for the properties. Cyprus is a very attractive market for foreign investors if you want to relocate or you just want to buy a property and rent it out to get your income, because first of all, it's a tourist island. Also, it's a really nice expat community, so there is always high demand in the good locations for properties for families or for specialists who immigrate to Cyprus from European countries or somewhere outside the Europe. We are really proud to announce that Cyprus is still really high on Human Development Index, as well as it's very important to say that Cyprus is a very safe country. So you're gonna feel safe and secure for you and your loved ones here in Cyprus. After we discussed all the advantages of Cyprus citizenship and what it has to offer, let's discuss the negative parts. So obviously Cyprus is a small island, therefore the administrative procedure is going to be lengthy, document demanding, and maybe sometimes even stressful. If you're going to go through the normal route, 7 years plus 12 months, you will be looking at around 4 to 5 years application procedure until you even called for an interview. And after an interview, if you're successful, it's going to take you around 1 to 2 years to be accepted. Yes, that's a long time, okay? So the bonus is if you're going through the fast track route with a work visa, as previously discussed, you can drop your application time to a year. That's a special program which the government has issued to speed up the procedure. And in that case, you will be covered a lot faster than the normal process. Trust me. Many clients complain that learning Greek language is challenging. It is indeed, if you've never spoken the language, never heard of it. But there are plenty of state programs or private tutors who help you prepare for the specific exam to get you going, and they will be with you and we will be with you for the whole process. So don't worry about that. It will take some effort, but you can do it. Cyprus passport is very attractive for foreign investors and relocants in Cyprus, but it's important to prepare in advance. So we do recommend to our clients, if you are even considering moving to Cyprus and getting your passport for you and your kids, to establish a time frame in advance with us. What we usually offer to our clients, we do book an initial consultation even before you even fly to Cyprus to discuss what you will need, how it's better to structure your residence in here, who will be staying mostly in Cyprus, you or your spouse, whether the kid's going to go to school in here or you want to leave them, for example, to go to school back in States or the UK, and then you want to relocate them after you get your passport or your permanent residency here. So all of these ways and options are better discussed in advance, because in that way we will have a straight plan to go with, and if something changes we will adjust it accordingly, obviously, but it's always good to be prepared for everything you're gonna do. You need to plan your trips accordingly, have your bank account sorted, all your finances, all your documents in here. Maybe some volunteering work will help you with your passport application. That's something to consider as well, actually. Have your work visa settled. All of that we can discuss during our consultations. So if you have any questions or if it's something which interests you or your family, give us a shout, we'll get back to you and we can have a brief call to discuss all the details and maybe raise some important points which you weren't aware of in advance to make sure that you're fully prepared for your trip to Cyprus and your relocation here.